So I do want to put that as the tip number one. Strategies that get you through life is come into heart coherence every day.
Perfect, because I have that on my list as number one. And number two, I've written down your PEMS. And
Mm-hmm.
your PEMS is, if you've been a long time listener or a listener probably 4 episodes ago before, probably
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do our PEMS, and your PEMS is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And it's a check-in to see where you are on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10.
0 to 10, yeah.
10 being
Discombobulated.
yeah, even beyond, yeah, like you can't even think of the word discombobulated. Like you're literally beyond a repair mode in your head is where you're thinking.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb. There, see, I always like to just pause for a wee nanosecond to see how are you going to greet us.
Safer. It's safer.
It's
Yep.
safer, yes. That's kind of what I think. Welcome, dear listeners. Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations podcasts with Debz. That would be my friend over there. And Moira, me here. This one, I'm actually really looking forward to this conversation today. Strategies that get you through life. Wonder where we're going to go with this one. Strategies that get you through life. Well,
Give up, surrender, just stop. Yep.
Just let go. Well,
Yep.
a really powerful strategy to get you through life is getting yourself into heart coherence. That's how we've been starting our conversations, is just doing a little moment to pause, focus on your breath. And if you're driving, don't do this, but you can just follow along. But if you're not driving and it feels okay, just gently closing your eyes, really allowing your awareness to come into wherever you are. Park all the to-dos and the have-tos and push that off to the side for a moment as you just focus on some nice deep breaths, breathing in through your nose. Pause slightly at the top and then sigh it out through your mouth. Good. And again, breathe in, breathing in life force energy in, letting that cascade throughout your entire nervous system, and breathe out, letting go any discombobulation or chaos or crazy making stuff, breathing it all out. And let's do one more together. Breathe in and let it go. Just finding your natural breathing rhythm. And I invite you to put one or both hands over your heart, acknowledging the power of your loving heart energy. And as you're doing this, just intend that you are sending your loving energy around the entire planet. And as we all do this, this is the heart coherence, bringing our heart into coherence of being the best versions of ourselves, sharing our unique loving energy, creating a beautiful blanket of unconditional healing love for all beings on this planet and beyond. Just acknowledge that. Acknowledge it and acknowledge to yourself that you can come back to this sense of connection, of coherence anytime you need to. All you need to do is remember it's there, put your hand on your heart, and breathe into it. So that's our first way of suggesting that you adopt a strategy of this caliber and of this way, just landing into your body, landing into your heart. And it's such a beautiful way to start anything. I actually always do things of that nature before I have to start a project, before I make a decision, before I start anything, actually. So I encourage you to integrate it into how you live your life, strategies that get you through life. I often forget to do this after I've got ourselves so zenned into the heart
I know what you
coherence. We are
Yeah.
going to share tips, and we do invite you to grab a note-taking device, pen, pencil, paper, electronic note-taking device, because I'm actually really excited to. I think we're going to end up going back to a bunch of the basics that you and I have talked about numerous times in these episodes. But then, of course, we always have to be open to random stuff happening too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I do want to put that as the tip number one. Strategies that get you through life is come into heart coherence every day.
Perfect, because I have that on my list as number one. And number two, I've written down your PEMS.
Mm-hmm.
And your PEMS is, if you've been a long time listener or a listener probably 4 episodes ago before, probably
Mhm.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do our PEMS, and your PEMS is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And it's a check-in to see where you are on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10.
0 to 10, yeah.
10 being
Discombobulated.
yeah, even beyond, yeah, like you can't even think of the word discombobulated. Like you're literally beyond a repair mode in your head is where you're thinking. There is
Yeah.
no way out. And then moving along as an 8, a 7, a 6. So check in with your PEMS. The intention is to keep you as a 0, knowing you cannot stay a 0 all the time every day, just so you know. So that's
Be kind of
unrealistic.
boring if you did anyway.
Yes, definitely. So just recognize, go, oh, no wonder my day to get through life. Oh, no wonder I'm feeling discombobulated because the last 5 sets of traffic lights have made me late. By the way, it's actually you who made yourself late. It's not the traffic lights, because just alerting you to get your shite sorted earlier and leave your environment earlier, by the way. But it's actually just going, oh, okay, that it's not a reason, it's not an excuse, it's just like, oh, I can see it. That's it. And then you can move forward. But if you don't get yourself to that heart coherent and recognize those PEMS, they are 2 key qualities that will get you through life.
Most definitely. Yeah, they're almost like our fundamentals, aren't they? And I know
Yeah.
that you and I both depend on them in our own life, regardless of what's going on. You know, this is something that I think is really important. These 2 techniques are so important to be doing all of the time, rather than allowing yourself to get into some kind of state of frazzled chaos, discombobulation, and then think, oh, wait, I'm supposed to do something.
Yeah.
Because these are the techniques. They're very gentle, they're very subtle, but you do them whether you think you need to or not, right?
Yeah, and it's literally a 5-second or a 10
Truly.
second. The PEMS is like, oh, bang, done. The heart coherence a little bit longer, but it's still a beautiful exercise to do to pull
You
yourself
can
back.
shorten it. You can literally do 1 breath in through your nostrils, out through your mouth. Actually, I would prefer to do 3 to 5, but that's all you need to do.
Yeah, it's just doing it. I think that's the other thing is, so maybe the strategies to get through life. Another tip is do the tips that we suggest.
Do the tips
Don't
that we
just
suggest that resonate with you. That's the caveat.
Okay.
They have to resonate with you.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wrote down, and this is, you and I both use this one oftentimes in our conversations, is to do a brain dump, right? So strategies that get you through life. If your mind's running a marathon with all the responsibilities and the duties and the have tos and the shoulds, then it's time to create a wee bit of space and time to just write it all down. Write it down. It doesn't matter how many sheets of paper you need. I still like writing things like that down on sheets of paper. Electronic devices are great, but sheets of paper are, to me, it's just, there's a relationship there. And
Yeah.
it feels like a real emptying out, decluttering. And then from that, you can create to-do lists, right? So, because some of the things that are going blah, blah, blah in your head may be things that you don't need to necessarily action until next week, next month, tomorrow, right? So it helps you prioritize.
That adds on that 4Ds.
Yes.
When you know, so brain dump goes side and side with your 4Ds being do it, delegate it, defer it, which means you're not doing it right now. So it could be tomorrow, diary it, and
dump it.
I was like, what's the other one? Dump it. No, not doing it. Don't. You've got too many unread emails. Just mark them all as read. There you go, done. And wait for them to email again. No. Or do that. Do whatever you want. That's yeah. But when with that brain dumping, don't forget to add on the 4Ds.
Yeah. I like that. I do like the 4Ds very much too.
Go.
I was just thinking that another one is the self-soothing kit. Having a self-soothing kit is a definite strategy to get you through life. Because let's face it, chaos and crazy making stuff happened. Doing the brain dump could actually be a little reminder in your self-soothing kit. But so could having a crystal or a color or a, you talk about your self-soothing things. Yeah, she's got her beautiful rose sparkles of her watering. And actually it's funny she's saying that because mine is my purple water. And so my thing is always having things of purple and I have crystals around me and I have sayings and reminders and mantras. That's all part of my self-soothing kit. And it's done specifically in my office. I have these reminders and these things because this is where I'm going to get stressed or I might get discombobulated or not in the flow that I could be. So it's having these little reminders around you. It's such a powerful strategy that gets you through life. It allows you to ride the waves and come through whatever shows up for you, right?
Because often ahead is a discombobulation. If you're really life when you're into that state of that PEMS, being out of your 0 to 10 and you can't think clearly. So just having that self-soothing kit or even going, what's my glitter moment? Okay, I'm just going to go perfume on, or I'm going to go stand outside, or I'm just going to go lock myself in the toilet because I don't like anyone. Like whatever that's needed for you right there, right now, do that.
Yeah.
That's when I think about the strategies to get through life and people say to me, sum up your business in one word, Deborah, which is always a fun one. Sum up.
Do people really say that? Really?
No, sum up in one word. I'm like, man, good luck. So I just go gratitude.
That's funny. That was the next tip in my head too.
That's my elevator pitch. Gratitude. Be thankful for, and this will definitely get you through life. Be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for what you don't have. Be thankful for those people around. Be thankful for those people who aren't around. Be thankful for the old you. Be thankful for the you you're looking at right here, right now. Be thankful for where you're looking to go towards. Just gratitude for everything and anything around you just can shift to get you through life. Now, you may just go, oh, I've thought of one thing and I'm not really, or I can't think of anything I'm grateful for. Just start with, I'm grateful I woke up this morning. Yeah. I'm grateful I have internet. I'm grateful that Moira and I are different. Oh my gosh, I just realized, bling thing. I just realized I was like, where's my purple? How come I've got no purple here?
Keyboard cover.
I know, I'm like, here I'm talking about my glitter, and I'm like, where's my purple? Where's Moira in my office? Anyway, be thankful, Deborah. Be grateful, Deborah goes on a tangent. But be grateful. Oh, you're wearing purple too, Moira. I just realized.
I am wearing purple. Yes.
Oh, and that's why we're podcasting and not thing. And I'm wearing my red. Got my red.
Yep.
Anyway, going back to what be thankful for what you have, be thankful for what you don't have. And that is the quickest form I find of shifting to get you through. And it could be surface stuff. I'm thankful that I woke up this morning, which is not surface. I'm thankful the kettle's boiling that I could make my drink. I'm thankful for like whatever it is, because all those little things add up to significant when you're sitting in your heart.
I think you and I have talked about this, the gratitude part, and I was telling you a couple of weeks ago, I think, about a client of mine, and I really love this, that this client, she finds it very easy to say thank you to people. So so I'm grateful for her husband, for her grandkids, for her kids. But what she started to do was pause and be thankful for inanimate objects. So she was starting to say thank you to the kettle for boiling, and thank you for the coffee mug, and thank you for the. I just love that.
I love it.
Yeah, because can we make our entire workaday experience an exercise in appreciation, in gratitude?
It just when you're living in gratitude, when you're living in gratitude, it's like the universe opens up things for you differently.
Well, you've heard me say that, and I think it was a title of one of our previous episodes was what you appreciate appreciates. I often
Yeah,
say that.
yes.
It gets
Without
bigger.
without you even knowing. It just grows, it happens, it's part of.
But don't you find also it's almost like it creates a lens through which we see everything else, right? So even the example you say that the one person says, oh, I thought of one thing. Well, good. Think of that one thing. Oh, look, there's another thing. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's something else. So it replicates itself right in front of you.
Without you even knowing, and it's not as hard as what I just really want to emphasize. Life doesn't have to be hard. We make it hard. So when you think
Yes.
you're like, I can't think of anything, I'm grateful, I can't think of it. Well, I'm grateful that you can't think of anything because it's going to make you dig deeper, love. That's all there is to it. Like, think of what you're great. It just shifts when you're in that zone.
I just wrote that down as a specific tip. That was very well said. Life doesn't have to be hard. We make it hard. That is a strategy that gets us through life when we actually
Right.
own the fact that that is how come things might be, this happens terrible and this is so stressful, so hard. Well, it's like, yeah, because you made it that way.
Well, choose your hard. Choose your own hard, because the universe, if you don't choose your hard, the universe will give you a hard. So choose every day. Okay, maybe here's another tip. I'm on a tangent now. Is choose an inspiring challenge every day
Oh,
for you to work.
nice. Yeah.
If you choose an inspiring challenge, the universe sort of, I don't know, it just sort of backs off and lets you do your own thing. I find that. But if I'm not choosing a challenge, I get a challenge somewhere else, because you can't run from that drama or that challenge. But if you get to pick and choose your inspiring challenge today, and sure, it's not with your wealth and your health and your intimate relationship unless you want it, but like just a few things I just put into that's not happening in that category. But choose your hard. Choose what you want to do.
So it's interesting because I don't know that it's about hard. I don't necessarily think
That's not a word
about
for me.
choose, no, but choose your challenge, because your challenge can actually inform you how capable you are, how gifted you are, how resilient you are. And so it's like choosing the path in which you're going to walk down to do that, right?
Yeah. Because I don't like being told what to do, but if the universe tells me what to do, I'm like, damn, I didn't get my own thing in. But when you choose an inspiring challenge, it juices you up. It makes you feel alive again. Like, oh, today I'm going to work on this, and that's going to be my challenge. And it gives you something that you can manage again.
But don't
That's
you
yours.
think, that intrinsically we are always choosing, but we're choosing consciously and unconsciously? So maybe that's more to the point here, is that I'm going to consciously choose, yes, okay, I'm going to work through a challenge here, as opposed to an unconscious challenge. It's still me that created it.
Mm.
but it's going to feel like I just got bonked on the head, right?
Yeah, consciously. Because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes in your unconscious. Well, unless you really tap in like Moira and I can. And sometimes we go, no, cancel. But absolutely. But choose it before someone else chooses it for you is the way I go.
Yes.
Get in first. Get in first.
Yes. Get in first. Which actually, my next tip right here is trust.
I'm
Trust.
right.
Trust.
No,
Trust. Trust.
trust.
You know that's one of my favorites. Our favorite. So I said this in our last episode about
I was going to
trust
say you said
creates
something
peace.
beautiful on the last one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Trust
Yeah.
creates peace. But trust, so this is a strategy that gets you through life so, so beautifully, is that even if you are maybe looking at a situation or a choice that feels like a bit of a challenge, when you can really trust your own resilience, your own abilities, your own power, your own creator being stamps, then you don't have to know the outcome. You don't have to know the steps to take because I can let go of all the, how am I going to do this? And what does that happen? And how about this? And how about that? Uh, it will evolve and transpire in the best way for me when I trust. All I need to do is take one step.
Yeah.
And then maybe tomorrow I don't take a step because there's something else to be attended to. But when I trust myself, then you look at how it all plays out and you think, gosh, look, it's actually happened or showed up in a way that I couldn't even have imagined if I tried. Right?
Yeah.
But it starts because I trust.
And well, that's a beautiful one because the next one I was thinking was proximity. Now, proximity is who you associate with, who you're around.
Mm.
And I think that trust goes into that as well, is having that trust on those around you, having that trust on yourself as well. But proximity, you are who you hang around with. We've heard that a gazillion, well, I've heard it a gazillion times, and I get if you hang out with people who do low vibe things, you're going to go into that low vibe thing. If you hang out with people who are movers and shakers in the world, who are ethical, moral, who are, I'm going to say above the line, if you know the above the line, below line.
Yeah,
They're
you
above the
talked
line.
about that before. Yeah.
You're literally going to stay above the line yourself. You're going to evolve with that. If you hang out with people who want to talk about taking down the government, you're gonna slip into that mindset. But if you're talking about movers and shakers who don't talk about people, but what's the greatest problem I can solve today? How can I do it? What's my greatest challenge? How can I implement this in the world that's going to reach more people? If you're hanging around those people, you can't just slump by.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Does all
Yeah, it
that make
does.
sense?
It's a beautiful way. So because why I think it's such an important reminder that you are who you hang around with is the other part of that is that the people that we have around us are mirrors of what's going on within us. So to your point, if you surround yourself with the movers and shakers and they're like, let's get this show on the road and let's do things like this and let's be of service and let's overcome this challenge or whatever it is, then you have that within you. But if you surround yourself with the government, to hell with the government, we have to overthrow the government and this is terrible and this is awful, well, that's also inside you. So and so here's the thing though, I'm not doing a stick my head in the sand, an ostrich thing, because I know that kind of stuff happens. I just don't gravitate toward it.
I just have to laugh because I wrote down a tip saying, don't let things roll over, diary it and do it. So you're just like, I'm not one to stick my head in the sand. I'm like, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's so there's another tip we're just going to add into that, just from what Moira said, is don't let things roll over.
Yeah.
Deal with it. But actually respect it, that this is something, like the old celebration, I've got something to work on, is I've got this, diary it and don't let it carry over. Don't put your head in the sand, as Moira said.
Yeah. Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would the,
Because it will come and get you. That's why I
and
said,
at an
bonk you on the head.
appropriate time.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
time when you do not want it to happen. Your worst fear, it is that is going to that's going to come back and bite you at that time. That's my thing. Yeah. So deal with it in your own time frame before it comes and nabs you again. Yeah.
Truly, because that's another saying that I often reference. All my clients know that I say this too. What you resist persists. So
Oh,
if you,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so it's totally this. If I'm resisting, oh, I don't want to deal with this. This is like, no, it's there. You don't stick your head in the sand and pretend it's not there. I'm sticking my fingers in my ears, it's not there. Well,
Yeah.
that's actually a strategy that will stop you getting through life.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's sometimes, and this is going back to trust also. Sometimes something comes up, a challenge happens, and you have no clue how to deal with it. But trust says the reason it's shown up is because I have the capability or the capacity or the resilience. I just don't have to figure it out right now.
Well, that goes back to there's always a solution to every problem. Because if you
Yes.
one side, you can see the other. Again, that's that trust as well. There's always a solution to every problem.
Yep. And so sometimes that means surrendering in the moment.
Yeah.
Just because you can't see the solution right now doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So therefore, you surrender and say, I invite it in. Energetically, I can invite it in. Ask my own inner wisdom, my own intuition to acknowledge, to recognize when it shows up.
Yeah. I just had to go to my drawer because even though Moira's mind, she knows what I've gone and done.
I
I've
do.
pulled out 4 agreements because we might as well just have a standard for every flippin'
Probably.
we and the 4 agreements are, because I can't remember what order they're in. So the 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word.
Mhm.
Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. If you want to get through life, if you want strategies, be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. They are so simple.
They are.
And if you fall off the wagon and you don't do your best, that's okay. Get yourself back on.
Because
Yeah.
we often say that just make yourself an intention. Just for today, I'm going to be impeccable with my word. Just for
Yeah.
today, I'm not going to take anything personally. Just for today, no assumptions. And just for today, I'm going to just do my best.
Just for
Just
today.
a beautiful, just for today. It's not every single day. Well, because then I'm going to tell you tomorrow, get up and say, just for today.
Just for today. Guess what you're doing tomorrow, matey potato?
But you see, when we give ourselves permission to focus on just for today, we're taking baby steps, and that's good. There's that quote that says, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step.
Mm.
Whereas when we get too caught up in, oh my God, I have to get there, and I'm going to get blisters on my feet, and I'm going to, I don't know if I've got stamina to do that whole 1,000 steps.
But I think just for today is actually literally a tip on its own.
Yeah, actually, you're right. It is.
Because it is just strategies to get you through life, which reminds us that everything's evolving. You're not.
Yeah,
You're
there's
not.
the goalposts can be moved.
Goalposts can be moved, and I think that's another beautiful reminder. So just for today is a separate tip for you people. What I would like to add here is we're in 2025 now. Did you write a love letter to yourself for how magnificent you are? Have you? Because if you want to get through life, look at what you've been through and acknowledge that in yourself, and send that love letter to yourself. To 2024, I survived this, and this, and thank you, Deborah, for getting yourself through. But how often do we actually write ourselves a love letter? Because if you want to get through life, it's important to see your past, recognize how you've come forward, and how you've evolved and loving that journey is that.
Yeah,
But right,
pat yourself on the back for what you've achieved. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I think that's a beautiful one. I think that's a beautiful one just to remind us to do. Write yourself something of what you've been through, and it's okay. Like you've survived. Clearly,
Mm.
you're here listening to the podcast, peeps. You survived what you've gone through, whatever that is. Yeah, your
Yeah,
past and your past.
it's part of the journey on thriving. Because
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I prefer to think of it as thriving rather than surviving.
I'm 100% in for that. I would 100%. Yep, I'm in for that. Yep.
Yeah. So maybe it's to look at that to kind of, because that's a strategy that gets you through life. Thriving has such a lighthearted, on purpose type of vibe to it, whereas surviving feels a little bit more, there's heaviness to it.
Well, it's like people say to me, "Oh, I learned my lesson," and I'm like, "No, you had an experience. Stop saying you learnt your lesson."
Yes.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
So I think that thrive over survive, lesson over experience over lesson. I think they're just words,
They
and
are.
don't get caught up on all of our words. Like, oh no, I've used the word survive. I shouldn't have said that, and da da da. Like it's okay. It's just a word that passes through, like your PEMS. It just passes.
The
Yeah.
thing, and you're right, they are just words. However, words
I haven't.
words
But
are energy. Words are
yeah.
energy. And that's kind of what I was trying to unpack there when I was comparing thriving to surviving. It's a wee bit like, I don't like when people talk about hating things.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just don't like that,
It's that
because
word.
it is that word.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this. Look, here's Moira bringing a word in that she doesn't like, because
I was
usually
just
that's
gonna say,
Deb. That's
can we
usually
just
your.
go? I don't, it's usually me going, boundaries, don't like that word, or I don't
Yeah.
like that word, don't like that word. The
Yeah.
physical reaction to that word. So we'll acknowledge that Moira has a word. I don't know if I actually use the word hate. I think for me, I just like, I don't think it's actually in my vocab. I would say probably dislike or makes
I
me feel
say I
uncomfortable.
don't prefer that, or I dislike that. For
Yeah.
me, that's my way, because it feels more like it's not a big heavy judgment,
Mm.
right? So that's kind of what that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now, but yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Okay, so once you've written that love letter to yourself and you're thriving and you're experiencing your life,
Mhm.
have we said celebrate?
I was
Have we
just
said
about, I knew you were going to do that, because I thought, oh gosh, we haven't brought celebrate into this conversation today.
yeah, celebrate? Because if you're writing that love letter to yourself, you're celebrating life. Celebrate you've got things to work on. Celebrate where you've been. Celebrate your journey. Celebrate those who are in your world and not. It is part of the gratitude, but it's celebrated. It's a different level of feeling.
Yeah, it's like celebrate where you've come from and celebrate where you're going, and celebrate the power of choice and the power of your capability.
Mm.
Yeah.
My mind's running a marathon now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's not like Deborah. So
No.
celebrate. Hurry up and celebrate.
And
Well,
there, strategies that get you through life. So
that's it. Yeah, not.
a very important one, I don't think we've talked about this. I know we talked about the self-soothing kit, but the other part of this is to make sure that you've got self-care practices that start your day every day. It's not something that you get to later. This is an important strategy that get you through life, is when you fill your cup first. That's the analogy that I like to use in this kind of conversation, is you fill your cup first and you give from your overflowing saucer, because you have to keep filling your cup and keep doing it. So then you have this abundance that you share from, that you're of service from. Because if you deplete your cup, in fact, there's a signal that happens, and this is a strategy that gets you through life. If you start feeling resentful for those that you care for, it tells you, it's a tap on your shoulder to say, you've ran your cup dry. You gotta fill your cup to keep flowing. And it's funny how many times I've had that conversation and people go, oh, yes, it does. These people that expect to have supper put on the table in front of them.
And even Moira said you get a tap. Sometimes if you,
Yes.
it might be a baseball bat.
If you ignore it long enough, absolutely.
So it is just a beautiful little tap. But if you're missing it, that tap gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Like I talk about the Nemo,
Yeah.
but the whale that comes at the very end, that's the one that immobilizes you and puts you, Deborah, in a wheelchair. It humbles you to a full-on degree. So the tap is there to show you, to open your eyes. So I think that's that. Don't ignore as well.
So that's actually a tip of its own, is don't ignore and actually really acknowledge when you get those intuitive hits or the taps. Even because, you can get a tap on your shoulder and maybe you are in the middle of some project and you say, I got that. It's by saying, I got that. And this is
Yeah.
how I'm going to adjust my schedule, or I'm going to change my priorities. But for right now, I need to finish this, what I'm involved in. And this is an internal negotiation that you can do. I've done this numerous times. I've had 3 burnouts in my adult life. And that is, so I still do it. I still have the propensity to overwork. And so I have a set of symptoms that will come up, and that's the slight tap. And then there's a set of 3. And if it gets to the 3rd one, then that's when I have to really stop and say, okay, but I can't remember the last time I got to the 3rd one. Usually it's the 1st or 2nd, and I will do this internal negotiation of, I can't suddenly go, okay, I can't see the clients that are on my schedule for the rest of today. But I can tell myself, oh, look, I can reschedule tomorrow's appointments, or I can take this whole day off later this week. But it's by saying that to myself, then I've acknowledged the tap. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to get the higher and higher volume, right?
Well, that even goes down to the 4 Ds, back where we talked about at the start. When that tap comes in, you're either going to do it, defer it, delegate it, or dump it.
Yes, you're right.
Even that tap comes down, and that's how quick I'm going to do it. Do it now. No. Delegate it. No. Defer it. Yeah, I'm going to put it into my diary tomorrow. I'm going to dump it. No, I'm going to defer it. And that is how quick it can be.
Yeah.
So you're still respecting, you're seen, heard, acknowledging it, and you're honoring it.
Yep.
Intuitive hit, but you're also you're adding the 4 Ds. Yeah.
I really like that, because that part, the seen, heard, and acknowledged, we need to see, hear, and acknowledge our own self. That's what this is. And that's perfect to have the 4 Ds on that. If you get a tap, you're like, oh, can't do anything about it right now. Yep, I'm going to write it in my diary for tomorrow. That's great.
And
then it's done. You've acknowledged it.
Which I have to giggle, because that's literally our last tip as I look at our time, and I'm like, how did that time disappear again?
How did that happen?
I'm the timekeeper, and I'm a shocker for a timekeeper. I totally admit that. And I'm like, whoa, where did we go over? So we're reining it in, but I will say there might be more tips at the end, because that's sometimes how we roll.
Just kind of how we roll. Yep. Can't help it. Can't help it. Strategies that get us through our life is we just can't be held into this limitation.
As we roll with it, we roll,
Yes,
pivot.
yeah.
Yeah. We must have put pivot in there somewhere. Yeah. So I'm going to share the two first, just the two first, because they just beautifully came aligned to us. So if you didn't have your note-taking device, quickly grab it now. We'll pause for a moment. Yep, great, got it. Great. Now back to it. So
There you
just
go.
pause.
Go.
Yeah,
And
got it. Yeah, go.
yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And start writing, because the first tip that we gave for our strategies to get you through life was the heart coherent, which Moira did at the start. That is a beautiful exercise, and it just grounds you and just feels like, to me, it feels like I'm complete. Like, this is what, and I think
landed
that's it.
here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to also add in the PEMS, because they go side by side, but they're so freaking different. They're so different, but they're two incredibly value ones that we have run all through our podcast. Is your PEMS is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's checking in, where do you feel with your physical, where do you feel with your emotional, where do you feel with your mental, where do you feel with your spiritual. And when wobbles come up, you're like, oh, no wonder, because that happened. That's why I'm now sitting outside the 10-to-1 ratio, or the 0 to 10, or on the 5. So they're just the two most perfect ones that we could start with, was that heart coherent exercise of pulling yourself back into your heart, and then your PEMS. There are more people, listeners, so don't think that's the end of it. So
Oh, yeah, you're
let's
not off the hook yet. Strategies that get you
no,
through life.
no way.
There's a
That's just,
lot.
yeah, they were just those two.
Well, the next one that I wrote down was when we talked about doing a brain dump, because you and I often talk about that. So once you've done a brain dump, and this is particularly effective if you've got a lot of chatter going on, like, oh my God, I don't have enough time to get all this. Just write it all down. Write it down. And then once you've done that, then you can prioritize and you can put your to-do list. And that's funny that we did the 4Ds on two different tips today. But because once you've done that, a really beautiful way to prioritize is, are you going to do it? You're going to delegate it, defer it, or dump it? That really helps declutter all the mind chatter, right? Powerful strategy there.
I love that. I love that. You know me, love that. The next one is a self-soothing kit, and Moira calls it a self-soothing kit, and I call it a glitter bomb kit. I think I call it a glitter bomb,
Just
and
a
it's
glitter bomb.
just yeah, it's a glitter bomb. It's just what feels right for you. So that self-soothing kit, having that self-soothing kit of knowing just to pause or stand outside or drink your water from your favorite mug or glass or whatever that self-soothing kit that is essential for you, pull that out and do that, because nothing's permanent. If you can just pull out a card or look at what lights you up, your glitter bomb, and do that helps you get through whatever state you're in at that time.
Yeah, most definitely. Which then nicely leads us into gratitude. Gratitude. So being grateful for all that you have, all that you get to do, all that you've not got, all that you're working towards. Grateful for the people in your life, grateful for those that aren't in your life, grateful for you being in this space and time.
Yeah.
That's when I talk about that what you appreciates. It grows more and more and more. Such a beautiful strategy. And gratitude practice is actually quite simple. And we talked a bit about that when we were bringing it up, is that even if you feel like, I don't have much to be grateful for, name one thing, and I guarantee you, all of a sudden, you'll see 3 more, and then 3 more, and then 3 more. Right?
And you can't put John DeMartini says that you can't put your hand in a pot of glue without some of it sticking.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. The moment you start seeing one gratitude, that glue is stuck to you, and you're like, oh, there's another one. There's another one.
Yep.
Oh, I can see it, and it's flying. And you'll be doing something, and a gratitude moment will come in, and you'll go, huh, there it is again. So you can't put your hand in that pot of glue without some of it sticking. So that gratitude does flow. It
It
flows.
really does.
Yeah, once you get going.
Yep.
The next strategy I have is, life doesn't have to be hard. we make it hard. We
Mhm.
make it hard. And that's when I went on to talk about choose an inspiring challenge every day for you to
Yeah.
hit a tackle, to do a conscious. We
Yes.
went
That's what
choose
we
an
said.
consciously choose an inspiring challenge, or choose an inspiring conscious challenge every day, because when you're choosing your own inspiring challenge, my thought is the universe just backs off, just goes, oh, she's got something, we'll go to the next person who's not choosing an inspiring challenge. That's just the way I roll. I'm sure I wake up with an inspiring challenge, or I go to bed at night with an inspiring challenge. But I do find if I make up one for tomorrow when I'm going to bed, it seems to resolve by the morning. So do pick two, pick one before, because I wake up and I'm like, that challenge is gone. That thought, it's already worked out. Because I'm trusting my head's going to work it through the night. So if you want to do two, do one before you go to bed and do one when you wake up. But choose that and live by that.
Well, because you're the architect of your experience. So that's a beautiful way of doing it, taking ownership for that part. I love that.
Yeah.
The next one that I talked about was trust. One of my favorites. Trust is an inside job.
Yeah.
Trust that, and that can sometimes simply be saying to yourself, I've got this. You know, a situation comes up, something falls apart, something derails, something goes a way that you didn't think it was going to go. But trust, it's still evolving in the best and right way. But maybe that means you just need to put your hand on your heart and say, I've got this. Can't quite see the resolution or the solution right now, but I know it's there. So I've got this. Trust, and then remember that trust creates peace.
I know.
Because when we trust, we can sort of say, thank you, discombobulation. I don't need to get engaged with that because, well, I can just be peaceful. Yeah.
The next beautiful strategy I have is proximity. And I didn't understand what the word meant. I understood it's who you hang about with, and I got that. But now there's actually a word called proximity.
Who's
So if
close
you
to you? Who's close to you?
and the thoughts and actions, and if you're talking about, if you're around people who just want to talk about people, and I'm going to use the word gossip and share, and guess what they're doing, you're only going to stay at that level.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about people who are choosing an inspiring challenge, and this is what I'm going to tackle today, you become more alive, and that's where you're leveling up. And so it's the people around you, including family members. I'm going to say that, including family members. You're not
100%.
obligated
Yeah.
friends, anyone, because the family members are two things. You're either got the blood family or you've got other family. So we all have a parent who's like our own, who's not our blood parent, but
Yep.
sister, brother, neighbor, any of those things, and they do become. So there's that family. So proximity. Who are you hanging around with, and are they in the best? Are they going to be the best people to hang around with to help you evolve?
Yep. And it's going to change. As you change, they change. You know, it's like your tribe's going to change as you change and evolve.
Yeah.
So yeah. Who are your tribe, basically, right? And know that you just because they're your tribe now doesn't mean they're going to always be.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one I have here is you had said diarrhea and deal with it. And that's when I was talking about
Sorry, deal with it.
Yeah. That was when I was talking about don't bury your head in the sand. Because chaos and discombobulation, turmoil, trauma happens, and there are going to be times that you need to stand up and do something about it. So it's not to bury your head in the sand and pretend that things are not happening. Because when we do that, we run the risk of getting into the what you resist persists. So if something's coming up that you need to address, then you need to address it. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna go away unless you do it.
Yeah, and I love that. What you resist persists. The next strategy I have is drum roll, the 4 agreements. The 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best.
Powerful words, powerful agreement to live by.
And
Strategies.
again, they're not hard. They're not that hard. They're perfect ones. The 4 agreements. Tick, 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 tick.
And then we added for that, because I often like to suggest that we just do just for today. Just for today, I'm going to be impeccable with my word. But we kind of riffed on that one a little bit more, because that is a beautiful way of to just keep your focus on just for today. It's not like, oh, I have to commit to do these every day the rest of my life. Well, maybe, yeah, ultimately that would be great, but just for today, I'm going to do it. And then sorry, I'm going to say the same tomorrow, just for today. But it helps you really stay present, right? And more empowered.
Well, yeah, and my partner, she actually took the just for today when she was coaching a team at a tournament, and she said, just for this game.
Beautiful.
Just for this game.
Yes.
Just for this game. And the girls are like, oh, okay, we can do for this game. Now, none of them registered that every game she said the same thing.
Right.
None of them registered every game. She was like, just for the game, this game, we're going to do this. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. The next game, just for this game. None of them registered that she was saying the same thing.
That's beautiful, though. That's beautiful. That's what I love. You're just hearing them right in that environment, and that's I love it.
And that's the presence. That's when you're in presence. Yep. So just for today, and if you can't focus on today, just for this meeting, just for this drive,
hour,
just for the time I get the kids in the car. I'm going to be in bed with my word. I'm going to don't take anything personally. Just if you can't focus on the whole 24 hours of today, just for
break it down.
That's the next one I had was writing a love letter to yourself.
Yeah.
Write a love letter to yourself for how you've evolved through life, how you've become who you have. Acknowledge the pros and cons, but write that and let it out. And I for me personally, I love typing, but I'm definitely a writer when it comes to those things, because more things flow. And my head's trying to keep up with my hand as I'm writing, but more things just flow from the heart. For me personally,
I find it more soul-based, more heart-based when I'm writing with my handwriting. I don't always I'm not always able to read my handwriting, but I have terrible handwriting. But I agree, there's a connection. I think that it's like coming straight from your heart. So I love that.
So write that love.
The next one we talked a wee bit about, you had said in the love letter you were talking about, look at what you've survived. And that's when I said, I prefer thrive rather than survive. And we also said we both prefer experience rather than lesson. Of course, what we were saying is those are just words, but something that I think is very important, and this is a strategy that gets you through life. Yes, they are just words, but how do they make you feel? Because words are energy. And so it's about owning the energetic experience that you're creating, right?
I'm laughing. I'm literally laughing because I pulled out a piece of paper before and I went, how does this information or these people or anything make me feel about me?
Yeah. One of my favorite questions.
I know. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have to untangle that in, because this is totally the strategy. I was like, why have we not we've dropped the ball on that. So I'm being impeccable with my word. Yep. So I wrote it down and Moira just slips it in.
Slid it in there. That's awesome.
How does it make me feel about me? And that's it. So that's why I was grinning when you're talking. I'm like, tick box. Thank you, Moira. She's got that one up. She's got that. She
on the same wavelength there. I love it.
Tag team. Yep. Fantastic. The next one I have is celebrate.
See, that's what we just did. Celebrate what just happened.
We did. We literally listen to us celebrate. Yay! Celebrate. We talked about having gratitude for what you have and what you don't have. Celebrate for things you have and things you don't have. Celebrate that you've got something to work on. Celebrate that you're in this situation. Celebrate that you use the word survive and now you're ready to change it to thrive.
Yeah.
Like, celebrate, because life is grand when we open our eyes. But if we're not celebrating it, we're just literally going to be in victim mode and down the ladder, down the rabbit hole. It's not going to be a great rabbit hole to go down.
No, it'll be dark and murky, and that's not nice. No, that's
Yeah.
not a good strategy that gets you through
We have,
life.
and we haven't got time for that. Haven't
No.
got time for that. Got
No.
life to live.
The next one I have is when I was talking about filling your cup first and giving and being of service from your overflowing saucer. Such an important part, because when this is something we have to do all the time. We must nurture ourselves in order to be of highest guidance and highest support and service. And the flip side of that is when we run our cup empty or deplete our cup, then we can kind of get a bit resentful sometimes. So if you find yourself being resentful of these people that you're looking after, and don't they see all the sacrifices that I'm making, it's a tap on your shoulder to say, hey, your cup's running dry here. Time to reset. Fill that cup.
Giving from your saucer is such a beautiful picture. In my mind, when you talk about it, I'm like, yes, because how often do we give someone our own cup and go drink from that? You
Yeah.
know, but drink from
From
my
the saucer.
overflow. This is
Yeah.
where I'm at. I love that. I visualize it each time, and I think that's a beautiful one.
Yeah, me too. I love that too.
And one of the tips with the strategies I've got here is don't ignore things. And Moira said a beautiful 2 words that I went, oh, and it's an intuitive hit. And I was like, oh, I like that. Because we want the intuitive hit rather than the baseball bat hit.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
And reminding you that I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. Yeah, there's a solution to every problem. I've got this. And that's where we also added in the 4 Ds again. When something happens, like, okay, right now, am I going to do it, defer it, delegate it, or dump it? And it just literally, I'm going to say calms your farm. It just goes, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't need to keep tapping or nudging or saying, hey, listen. Right.
Yeah. We've got the intuitive hit. We've got it, and we're going to 4D it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Got 2 more.
Oh, do you? Okay, that's all I have.
That I wrote down because, just you talking. And I would like to say, seen, heard, acknowledged. This is not only for others, but if you're going to get through life and other people's energy, see them, hear them, acknowledge them. You don't have to agree with them, but also see yourself, hear yourself, and acknowledge your own self. And that really tags into the one just previously.
We were just saying,
if you can see, hear, and acknowledge yourself, they're here. They're here for you. Yeah.
When we don't see, hear, and acknowledge, then that's when the little whiny voice keeps coming up and saying, dang it, why are you listening to me?
And it is a whiny voice too.
It is. The whiner. The inner whiner comes up.
In a whiner. Yeah. Not in a wiener, in a whiner. Moira's like, did you just say that? Yeah, I did. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Moving on to the next one is that I'm just adding in, just for today, do a tip that we suggest. If you want to get through life, just for today, do 1 tip and implement it as much as you can all throughout the day.
I love that. Yeah.
Just
and then let us know how it goes.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know. So that is us on our Deliciously Motivated Mindset conversation podcast / thingy for our strategies to get through life. There was my favorites in there. There was some I was like, oh, there's a goodie. Intuitive hits. I'm definitely going to take that and run with that, because I think it's those catchy those little moments that we go, oh, that's something I can use. That's something. So just for today, I'm going through these tips, and I'm going to take little snippets of this, and I'm going to put that out to those people I connect with, whether they're clients, whether it's social media, whether it's family, whether it's a complete stranger. So I encourage you to do that, just for today, the tips we suggest. But if you liked this, because we know you clearly have, if you've got all the way through to here, I'm going to say yes, because if you go no, then I'm going to call you on your BS belief system. No swearing here, but I'm going to call you on that. But if you like this, I'm going to encourage you to book a call with us. We both have a complimentary, which is also known as free. We have a complimentary call that you can just jump on a call and go blah, 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 and we can help you and we can guide you from that. we're not here. We're here to help you evolve. We're here to remove the stress from your life. We're here to help you move forward in your strategies to go through life. All our podcasts are the same thing. We are there to help you level up. As you level up, we level up. As we level up, we level you up.
Yep.
We are here to do that because we walk our talk. We're solid in what we deliver. Our certainty outweighs anyone's doubt in my tips and Moira's tips, and I back her on hers as well.
Yep.
So if you like this, the next step is book a call with us. Let us help you at a different level.
I love it.
So that's us signing off. That's us signing off for our strategies to get you through life. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you to the newbies. Thank you to the oldies. Thank you for taking tips. Thank you for just for today. Thank you for listening. And
Yeah.
thank you for shining your light yet again, your purple light
My
yet
purple
again.
light and your red light.
Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful. Sparkles and all.
that's it. Thank you, everybody.
Beautiful
Have
conversation.
Yeah.
Definitely. Have a great week, and we'll be with you next time. Bye.
Bye.